What's up, guys? This is Coach Mahat from Finesse Basketball. Welcome to Module 6. We're going to get into kind of our fundamental, three fundamental offensive sets that you are going to pretty much use in every single game. It's going to be the three offensive sets you're going to essentially put in first for any single team you're starting to work with. And it's going to start to lay the foundation for your team, okay? The first set is called Motion High. Motion High you're going to be able to use against an 11 defense, which is man-to-man, and you can use it against zones. The next one is going to be Motion Low. Motion Low you're able to use against a 3-2 zone or a 1-3-1. And then there's Runner, which you're going to be able to use against a 2-3. Okay. The first one we're going to start off with is going to be Motion Low. If you looked at the elbow, if you were to draw, for example, a vertical line from each elbow, this spot right here would be considered what's called the slot. This is called the slot, okay? If you were to draw a horizontal line from the elbow to the three-point line, this would be called the free throw line extended. If you were to draw a line that were to cut in half from the elbow to the baseline, so from right here, so it's touching the key, but in between the elbow and the baseline, this would be considered the wing, right? This spot right here is called the corner, okay? Why is that important to note is because your players are always going to be in one of these spots in particular, okay? In motion high, it's a free flow offense, right? The goal is to get the kids to be able to move. And you want them cutting, and you want the basketball moving as much as possible, okay? So you're going to have one player here, slot. The other player is here in the slot. The other player here is going to be not on the free throw line extended, but they're going to be kind of on the wing. They're going to be on the wing. They're going to be on the wing, okay? That's generally where you want them. This is about one pass away distance, right? Super simple. And now what's going to happen with your big, this is actually very important because it's going to open up the floor spacing for our guards, right? Let's say the basketball is here, okay? Your big man is always going to try to be on the opposite side block. For motion high, there's 4 spots on the court for your guards: slot, slot, wing, wing. Let's say the basketball is right here. You want your big man to be in the opposite side block, okay? The ball gets, let's say it gets swung here, right? In terms of, even when I'm showing you guys how to write out your sets on a clipboard, the basketball is represented by a dot, right? Offensive player is represented by an O. A pass is represented by like a couple of dashes with spaces, right? And then the defense is represented by X, okay? Very important. Defense is represented by X, okay? So if, let's say, the basketball is swung here, right, it's swung here, the basketball goes here, then it's no longer in this spot here. The big, right, the big is going to be flashing to then, of course, the opposite side, block, right? If the ball gets swung here, then the big is going to be in the opposite side block. Why is that very important? Because it completely opens spacing for our guards to be able to attack downhill, because our entire goal of our offense is to attack the house, which is known as the key, okay? The cool thing with the big is no matter where the basketball goes, if the basketball is on the wing, at any point, the big man can flash. He can flash to the strong side. Strong side means the same side as the basketball. He can flash to the strong side block, and he would have to yell low, 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 and then every time the big flashes, strong side, he or she has about 2.5 Mississippis. If they don't get the basketball immediately, they gotta get out. So if they flash to the same side block, they can yell low, 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 or the big can flash to the same side elbow. You see the same side elbow? They can flash here, and they would yell high. They would yell high, 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 right? The basketball can get swung. This guy can cut, or this person can cut off, or they can up screen, and then they just play off of each other, right? But essentially, anytime the basketball is let's say the basketball is on the wing, the big can flash to the same side block and yell low. If they don't get it, 2.5 Mississippis are out. Or they can flash to the same side elbow and say high, high, high. And if they don't get it after 2.5 Mississippis, they're out. Okay, now if the basketball is in one of the slots, right? Again, the big is in the opposite side block. They can flash at any point in time to the painter's dot, right? Which is also known as the nail, which is right in the center of the free throw line, right? Or just above this point, right? But I like them to flash right in the center at the middle, that free throw line. And if they flash, because it's in the slot, I don't want them flashing to the elbow. They're flashing right in the middle, and they're yelling high, high, high. And then what happens is this can automatically initiate X. If they pass it in, this is one of our actions. If they pass it, this guy can cut through, and then the other two guys on the wing can obviously fill up, right? And then that's our motion offense. Right, now that you understand the bigs, let's go into the guards, okay? So motion high is a 4-out offense. All it means is this, okay? All it means is this, right? Anytime the basketball is swung, you cannot stay in the same spot, okay? You either have to cut through or screen away, right? But the general continuous offense that we have to keep it simple is we do a handoff action here. This guy gets the basketball here and he's going downhill, and then this guy fills that spot. While that's happening, the opposite side wing is doing a down screen. Is going down. The opposite side slot is doing a down screen here, right? And then they just switch places. They do a handoff, right? And then the job is, once this guy does a handoff, he's looking to attack the house, okay? These are the couple actions that we have. Right, handoff is considered an action, down screen is considered an action, right? But if you get the basketball from one of these actions, your intention as a team is to try to attack the house, because it puts pressure on the other team, it forces the defense to collapse, and then once the defense collapses, right, it creates opportunities everywhere else, right? It's essentially just predicated by ball movement and body movement, and just making sure guys replace. It's initiated with a handoff action, and the opposite side is doing a down screen. That's essentially it. You can use it against, it's best used against man-to-man, but you can use it against certain zones as well.